I want to start this video with a little story. So a few years ago, I was starting to be serious about photography, and I was editing my photos, capturing my photos, and the final output was always kind of disappointing. The photos were not terrible, but when I was looking at other photographers, there was always something that made them special, and mine was really not special at all. They were not talking to people, I guess. They were not really special. They were not creating emotion when people were looking at it. And yeah, just nice photos, but not, photos with the wow effect. And that's really frustrating because when it happens, you don't know why it happens. So at first I would say I thought that maybe I didn't have the right subject. I was not shooting things that were interesting enough. Then you think that maybe you don't have enough skills, so you are taking, maybe a Photoshop course or something like this. And actually, in my case, I was already pretty advanced in Photoshop because I used to be a digital artist, so I was combining image together inside of Photoshop, so I was fairly good with Photoshop, and my photography were still feeling, flat, nothing special. Until I found out this one thing, not by learning from other photographers, but actually by learning design when I was taking a motion design course. What I was interested in was animation, but I needed to have some design course because that's not something I was really good at. And through the course, there were a whole module about color theory. And at that time, I thought, wow, that's super interesting. Let's try to apply it to photography. It changed the way I saw photos, photo editing, the way I edit my photos. And actually, this is called color grading. And I actually learned color grading by taking this design class. And I think the problem in the photography world is that we don't learn color theory, so we have no idea what we should do with our colors. We just play around with sliders inside of Lightroom or inside of Photoshop until we think it's going to look good with our eyes without really any specific reasons. And this is a big problem. You need to learn the principle of color theory if you want your photos to really stand out. So if today you want a guide to learn color grading as a photographer, you are on the right place. I'm going to tell you what you need to learn and what you need to do in what order to be able to make your photos stand out. It's been now a few years that I've been editing photos, and I have developed my own color grading method. I've called it the color code, and if you want to learn my exact method, if you want me to explain you exactly how it works step by step, then you can join the color code that will help you to master color grading to make your photo stand out. This is called the color code, and it's only cost $17, so you really have no excuse to don't master color grading after that. I will put the link in the description. And now I'm going to explain you what you need to know and what you need to do to master color grading and to make your photos stand out. So first of all, the first thing I would recommend is to learn about color theory and how colors are built. What is the relationships between colors? And then once you know that, you want to learn about color harmonies. So what is color harmonies? Color harmonies as like analogous, complementary colors, split complementary, and those are things that you can see on this website that I really love. This is Adobe Color, it's completely free. I will also add the link in the description. And here on the color wheel section, create section, color wheel tab, you can see this color harmony, and you can see that there is analogous, monochromatic, triad, complementary, split complementary, square, compound shades. I would recommend to just click on them and have a look at how it looks, okay? If you color grade an image with a color harmony that is in this list, your photo is almost automatically going to stand out because the colors will work together to create a cohesive image, and it will also help the story to tell an image. So for example, if you want an image to be kind of calm, pleasing to the eyes, I would recommend to use a split complementary color scheme. Now if you want something where there is a bit of tension or a bit surrealistic, maybe choose a square or also triadic. Those are color harmony that works well for that. If you want a file where I really explain what feelings, what vibe will be conveyed with each color harmony, this is something that is included inside of the color code. Now, once you know how colors work together, how they are built, and what are color harmonies, what I want you to do is to go to the extract theme here and to upload your unedited image. So once you capture your photo, go inside of extract theme and upload your image. Here you will be able to analyze what are the current colors inside of your photos. You can't edit your photos without knowing what are the colors inside of your photos. And you might think I have eyes, I already see the colors, but sometimes in the shadows, in the highlight, we think, oh, it's black and it's white, and it's really rarely the case. Usually all the blacks and whites are tinted with one color. Same, sometimes we see a color that looks like it's maybe a dark red, and it's actually, maybe a dark blue, and we just can't really figure out with our eyes. So we need to analyze really the colors of our image so we can figure out what are the exact colors. So it's simple, you just have to drag and drop a photo, and then you just take those dots here and you place them on the colors, on the area you want information about. And I don't know, maybe here. So here I've placed my dots where I think, I'm not really sure what kind of color this is. And then you can go back to color wheel, and here you will be able to see if there is already a color harmony appearing. So because here you might not be able to really see clearly what are the different colors, what you can do is to go on the HSB color mode. So we have the RGB color mode and the HSB color mode. If you don't know what's the difference, it's also something I explained inside of the color code. Link is in the description. So once you go to the color mode HSB, you take the sliders saturation brightness, you go to 100%. And now you're thinking, why should I do that, Lou? Well, because it's going to take all the colors to the extremity of the color wheel, and you will be able to see more clearly what are the colors and what are the color harmonies actually. And here we can see that it's almost a split complementary, not very clear, but if we were to bring maybe this orange here more towards yellow and this magenta more towards red, like red-orange, it would create a split complementary. And it gives me information on how to edit the colors, because here I know, okay, the magenta, maybe I'm gonna have to add some yellow to it to bring it more towards red. And this yellow here that was more like towards orange, same, if I add some yellow, it's going to make a color more towards yellow, bright orange than red. And it will give you all the information you need to then edit your colors inside of your favorite software. And it doesn't matter if it's Lightroom, Affinity Photo, Photoshop, it's the same. As long as you have sliders to edit colors, you will be able to do that. And then, of course, the next step is to go inside of the software and to edit the colors based on the things that you learned in the analysis. So if you want to see in practice how to do that with full workflows, then you can join the color code. It's only $17 and I will explain you in details how everything works. Now, next step I would recommend you to do is to take your favorite photographer's photos and to go to the extract theme, maybe do a screenshot and analyze how they work with colors. That way you will be able to see that maybe you really like those photos because they always use a triadic color harmony. And this is what makes them really appealing to your eyes. And maybe you can try to edit your photos with triadic color harmony, the same kind of tones, to see if you like it also on your photos. So to make it short, learn about color theory and color harmonies. Once you did that, before editing your photo, go to Adobe Color, extract theme, and choose the colors that you need information about, and go to color wheel and see if there is already a color harmony in your photo. Based on what you see on the color wheel, then you go on your editing software and you edit the colors based on what you saw here. And I promise you that if you do that, you're gonna see your photos level up like you never seen before. It's not for the lazy people, but if you are not lazy and you can't wait to see your photo finally stand out, then this is 100% for you, and I really urge you to try it out.